My name's Cheri. Welcome to my stamp studio. It is in between my morning camp and my evening camp. So I have the choice of taking a nap or editing and getting up my Stampin' Cut and Emboss die cutting video for that class, or filming so I can edit and get maybe 2 videos posted today, or taking a nap. So the nap option was really tempting, but I have so much to do and it's a beautiful day and the tree in my backyard is stunningly gorgeous right now. So I decided I will look at it and I will try to stay awake and get through this and then maybe go to bed early tonight. But one of the project I'm going to show for you right now is one that they made at camp this morning and they will be making at camp again this evening. And it uses kind of a mishmash of stuff. So I'm going to show you all of the pieces that it uses on other projects, just to kind of remind you of things. We sell things in suites, but they don't have to be used in a suite. So this uses some of the wood paper, which I'm not using on this card, but it's one of the papers that's on sale this month. So you have a few days left yet in October to get the sale papers. But it uses the Trimming the Town dies, which I'm going to use today. And these little houses, you will find that you'll use them all the time. So I know it's a Christmas set. And this one has the one that pops out a heart. Today I'm going to use the one that pops out a star. But this paper's on sale and I am going to use the dies. Then I'm going to use the gnomes. So here's one of the little gnomes, and you might think I love gnomes, but I don't want to use them on my Christmas cards. Well, you don't have to, because I made this one and there is a YouTube tutorial. I think all of these cards mostly have YouTube tutorials for them. But I made him not Christmassy. So I just colored up all the bits that could be Christmassy, and he is just a happy little summer gnome. This one is a Christmas one, and again it uses some of the plaid paper, and the plaid paper is on sale. And while it's Christmas, I intentionally went non-Christmassy colors, which is kind of what I'm doing for today's card as well. Then this uses the Trimming the Town paper, which is on sale this month and is the paper I'm using today. I'm using the Trimming the Town elements, so I'm going to use the paper, the ribbon, and the dies, just not the stamps that go with it. And so here's the paper. And then here is Trimming the Town stamp set, because I'm not using the stamp set today, but this is the stamps that go with the dies that I'm using today. And then this is part of my Christmas prep class. So this is the little, we made handmade shave lotion as part of that class. It's an online class. It goes through November 14th. It's a video a week, and it started way back, I don't know, in August, I think. So we're on week 10, I think next week is our 10th project. So this was shave lotion, and you know, your man in your life, if his beard looks like that, he might need some shave lotion. And then we packaged it in the round tins. So it's just an online class. You don't get the materials for it. So if you're interested in still hopping on, you can do that. But I am going to use Gnome for the holidays for this. And then Trimming the Town sweet elements, just not the stamp set. So I have Old Olive, which will be the base of our card. And then I have cut the papers 12 by 12. So I cut it 5.5 by 4. Because you might as well do 5.5 because it's super cute paper. Although look at this side. This is one of those packets that's done it to me where both of my favorite patterns are on the same piece. And I do have a couple of cards where you use this pattern. But for this one, we're just going to go ahead and we're going to make his little home in the forest to be on this. And then let's go ahead and stamp him. Just going to use Memento ink. This is a pretty quick card to put together. So I'm going to use the little guy that's got the high hat and holding an ornament. And I'm going to stamp him onto some shimmer white. So there he is. And there's no dies for this. It's just a standalone stamp set, old-fashioned. And then let's do the inside of our card. This greeting is the one I used on my summer card. And it says, there's no place like Gnome for this Christmas season. When I put it on the summer card, I just cut off the bottom part that said for this Christmas season. So it just says there's no place like Gnome. And then I'm going to put my little girl gnome, because when there's this many cute stamps in a set, might as well just use them, right? So put her over here. and put their little, since it says there's no place like Gnome, let's put their little gnome house on the inside of the card. And we're not going to color anything or do anything with this. It's just going to be decoration on the inside of the card. So there we have the missus and the house for your little Christmas. So let's cut our pieces out. I have the windows open. It's October and it's beautiful, but it can't decide if it wants to be beautiful or if it wants to rain. So at some points this morning it has stormed, but right now it is stunningly beautiful outside, but it's a little muggy. And so if you live someplace like that, on days when it's a little muggy and I'm not turning the air on because it's almost the end of October and it's supposed to be like back in the 30s, I think, next week. So here's the little trees and they make a little snowscape. And here's the little house. But if you find that sometimes your blends bleed, it might be because if it's a little muggy, it might just take your memento a second longer to dry. So I'm gonna do my other steps and then I'll come back to that. So put this in here. I literally am going to edit my class about using dies and I'm doing some of the things I tell you not to do in that class. So just roll these through. So we went on vacation to Iceland maybe 3 years ago now. And all of these sets that have the houses and the trees that look like this, they always remind me of Iceland. And of course, Iceland has gnomes everywhere. So pairing these together was a no-brainer for me. It was crying out to be done. So ever since I saw the dies and the little houses, this has been on my list of things to do. So we're just gonna paint them real quick. Now here's a little tip for when you paint something this small with blends. There's not a whole lot of space for the things to bleed. I'm just gonna use this for my scrap paper. So when you color fast. So I have my light and dark old olive. So I'm gonna use the brush tip so I can go faster. And just go fast. And I'm not gonna go all the way up to the edges. I'm gonna let it bleed to the edges. And then if it doesn't get there, I'll go back with a little tip and fill that in. But these are, especially these places up here and like his little face and his little hands, there's just not a whole lot of room. And because it's muggy and because these bleed, you want to have room to make sure that it has space to bleed. And I'm going to take the dark tip again. And go back in at any place where it didn't bleed up to the edge. But on those little places, you can tell it got all the way up to there. And it also gives you a chance for a little bit of shading. Now his hat and his holly are all colored in. I'm going to use Pool Party because that's the color of my paper. And like I said, this paper is still on sale. If you buy 4 packages of any designer series paper from me in October, then you get a pass to my free paper project class. It's an online class and it just is going to give you 3 fun projects to make with some of our designer series paper. So got the dark Pool Party there, and then let's hit it with the light. Just color that in. You can see I'm being real careful that I keep it all in the middle. I am going to cut him out, so if the bleeding is too much, then I can cut it off, but you don't want it to look smudgy. Get his little bow, his little boots. And then I have light gray granite. I'm just gonna give some wisps of color in his beard and mustache, just so it doesn't look flat white on all that. And then let's go with light petal pink. And I'm not gonna color his whole face. Like I'm gonna get kind of a wisp of his nose and just dab some of it in there for his hands and his face. But I don't want him to be pink. I just want to have that little blush. And then I have, this is the ivory marker. because I want the ornament to have color, but I don't want it to have color because this is kind of a muted card. So that gives it a little bit of color there. Now I'm gonna cut this out and I'll fast forward that part of the video. Okay, so he's cut out. So now we just need to stick all this together. It's a really quick card. Cutting them out is really the longest thing that you're gonna do. So I have the ribbon from Trimming the Town. I'm just gonna tie a little bow in it. And there's a little trick with this ribbon. If you don't want it to look, it's a beautiful ribbon, but it has that tendency to have the little flat, like, oh, I call it the bra ribbon. I hate, you know, those little, I don't know who ever thought that it was great to put those ugly little bows on our bras because they're not pretty. And y'all know which ones I'm talking about. So if you put your fingers in here, so these don't collapse down on themselves. So it's a bigger bow than we want right now. So just kind of get that so it's pulled. And see, now it's kept its little loops and it doesn't have the little stupid chintzy, I came off your bra ribbon. So once you have this tight, then you can pull these and see they've kept pretty loops and they don't look like they go on your bra because we don't want a well-known guy to have a bra ribbon. But if you pull it tight, you'd see what I meant. They go flat. It looks like it's just been smucked under your t-shirt all day. And we don't want that on our card. We want it to be pretty. So then you want enough of this that it's going to fold over the edges. And it's just kind of with these, wherever they land is where they land. I'm not fussed wherever this is going to be from my bow. It can be on this side, it can be on that side. You can flip it over. If it's in the middle of your card, if it's on the end, it's just wherever it is. So just take this, especially if you're challenged with bows. See what I mean? It's already getting a little bit of the bra thing. I don't want the bra thing on my card. So just kind of mess with it. There we go. So I'm going to take an ever so slight piece of seal right there and stick it there. And see, now it doesn't look like it came off your bra because it still held its shape. And pull these both that way. And then just flip this over because you want those ends to be on the back. It also saves ribbon if you're not wasting it, pulling it all around the back of your card. Flip this over here. Just fold that around backwards. Do the same over here. But nothing says I just paid $80 for this nice expensive bra than sticking 1/8 of a cent of ribbon in a bow that is not even challenging to tie on the top of it, right? So just pull this straight. And then I don't have my adhesive there. I got it in the right place. Now where you know that that's going to hit up here, just make sure that you have adhesive right there. And I'm using Seal Plus because I have Camp and my regular seal is downstairs, but regular seal would work on this too. And then it goes from edge to edge. Just like that. And now those are held in there with that. So let's add our trees. And this is such a cute little die and it takes absolutely no effort. So now he has a little place to stand on. And because I have Seal Plus, it doesn't take hardly any. And it'll hold on there good and proper. And I cut that 5.5 as well. And then here's the house. Now the star could fall out. I don't necessarily want it to. If it does, I can just add it back in, but I want the whole house to have a star on it. When I use it at the regular angle, that never happens, but when I'm using it on camera, I'm not at my angle. So there we have that. And now we just need to add him if he's walking home from his little house in Iceland. There. And then one last little touch is I have the Star Designer elements, and these are in the annual catalog, and they match all the little theme we have going on here. And then I want it to look like it's kind of dangling from the ribbon, but we know the secret that it's not. And how super cute is that? So easy, so sweet, and so fast to do. So you could whip these up in no time. So that's what I have for you today. I do have a sneak peek set that I'm going to do. I have the poinsettia class coming up. I have another sample with it, a card that's in line. This one was just easy because now I can put it all back in the bucket, and it was a camp card. But remember, the paper's on sale, and I have that free class if you purchase 4 packs of it. Everybody have a great weekend, and I will see you on the other side. Bye.